Hi everyone, welcome and thank you all for joining today's webinar on Learn Pro Tips to Become Grammar Smart. My name is Ravali and I'm a part of team here at Turito. I'm joined here by today's speaker, Mrs. Sunaina Gupta, one of the star tutor at Turito, and Ms. Priyanka from Student Counselor Department. This webinar is an outreach program by Turito for students to developing their learning skills and for parents who are willing to give their children best education. Before we start off, let me give a quick overview of organization. All you aware, Turtle is an e-learning platform and our vision is to provide quality education to every student by well-experienced faculty. Currently, Turtle is available in USA, Canada, UK, Middle East, India, Singapore and Australia regions. And programs offered by Turito are Naplanosi and one-on-one tutoring services for math, science, and English subjects in Australia region. Turito exclusives are Turito offers interactive learning methods as per student requirement, regular assessments to track the child progress, and doubt clarification sessions for making concepts stronger. Turito also provides parent app access to make you a part of child's learning journey. Moreover, we have top 2% certified educators whom we partner with to envision our mission. Before getting into the specifics, let me offer a quick intro about our speaker at today's event. Ms. Sunaina Gupta has a vast experience of 34 years in the education industry. She is a former principal and reputed academician. She is an expert of diverse and teaching practices. She is a recipient of prestigious awards for incorporating innovative practices in schools. Thank you, ma'am. And all the participants, please feel free to drop your questions at Q&A section. We have Q&A session after discussing about the topic. We'll be answering all the questions at that session. Thank you, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you, Ravli. I wish to thank all the parents and all the joinees who have taken out their precious time to be a part of this webinar. Now, before I begin the webinar, I would just like to quote Richard Trench that grammar is the logic of speech, even as the logic is the grammar of reason. Now, when I say that, without grammatical grammatically correct, we will not be understood and we will not be able to understand the other person correctly. And I hope you will all agree with me. So the basic of all languages is grammar. There has to be a correct sentence formation so that the communication skills are correct. Whatever we are trying to say goes across correctly. So the clarity of grammatical skills is of utmost importance. I often tell my children that grammar is like mathematics. So if you have, like, you can score 100% in mathematics. Similarly, if your grammatical skills are correct, you have understood the concepts correctly, there is no reason for you to lose marks in grammatical concepts. So the basic, we at Turito, we try to clear those basic grammatical concepts. We make the children understand where the punctuation should be put, where should we use prepositions, and how should we use prepositions. Generally, we see that the prepositions are used wrong, which changes the meaning of a sentence. So that happens because of the lack of clarity. And all these clear concepts, they help in building the communication skills. So can we move ahead, please? Now, what to do to perfect our grammar skills. The best thing is to read intensively to perfect your grammar skills. The more we read, the more we understand. Write more and quiz yourself. Please write as much as you can, even if they are small, simple sentences. And I always appreciate children writing small, simple sentences in the beginning because um, I feel I resonate with the thought of the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, when he said that language should be written, English should be written in simple language, in simple, do not you go overboard in using your vocabulary. You will go wrong. So use simple words to express yourself. Then quiz yourself that whatever you have written, are you conveying the correct meaning? Learn grammar aspects to write and speak better. Consult others and learn from their feedback. So, if the other person is not able to understand the meaning, then there is definitely a problem in what you have written. So, there are concepts that we off we very often we make mistakes. So those concepts need to be clear. And we at Turito, we try to do that from the very beginning. Now, how Turito helps you to become grammar smart? We teach the grammar rules and not only teach them, we make them use in real life so that children are enabled to write and speak better. The clarity of grammar rules helps in clear and correct communication. As we move further, I will tell you and I will also show you the examples of wrongly used grammar. Try to avoid ambiguity and convey the precise meaning. So, if we use the wrong punctuations, there will be ambiguity. Similarly, if we do not use the correct vocabulary, we try to use a very high end vocabulary, the meaning of the sentence may change altogether. Now, we do take up comprehension, which aids the reader to understand clearly. And when I say comprehension, in comprehension also, we do not give only inferential questions. We do give questions related to the grammar concepts which we have already taught. I may give a sentence to the child and tell the child to identify nouns or pronouns or adverbs or adjectives, depending on what all concepts I have already taken up. So that is how we make them practice and understand that how grammar is important in our reading and writing. Now, if you see these examples, the first one is of the punctuations, which says a woman, comma, without her man is nothing. So, which means a woman is nothing without a man, according to the punctuations. Now, the second one, a woman, colon, without her, man is nothing. So, it changes the meaning of what we are trying to say completely. Similarly, when we talk of punctuations, there are many times you will see come across apostrophe used wrong, right? Like if I say $5, this thing costs $5, and then with dollars they use an apostrophe, which means nothing. It is a wrong usage of apostrophe. It's all yours. Yours has S has an apostrophe before that. So again, it means it is all wrong. We are not using the apostrophe correctly. Then the second most important concept is that the subject and verb must agree to each other. The big dog run. Now, the subject and verb have agreed to disagree. The most commonly made mistakes are each student get a certificate. Now, I am quoting the mistakes which generally I see children making while they are doing various exercises. One of my friends liked to cook Italian food. So the subject and verb do not agree. The crowd are becoming unruly. So, crowd is a collective noun and should be taken as one. Neither she nor her friend were at the school, which means now this is a very, very commonly made mistake when they use neither and nor. So it means none of them was at the school. Then everybody enjoy a good book. Everybody is means each one of us enjoys. So with the singular, we are going to have enjoys. So I would say that it is very important that we read and we practice, write, and speak. So it's important to understand that whatever we are writing is important. It is important that it conveys the correct meaning to the person. Then we come to the prepositions. She said, "You can get on the airplane." And I said, "No thanks, I am not getting in the airplane." So, here when I say these are all prepositional mistakes, and the preposition on and in, when they are not used correctly, they change the meaning altogether. So, it's important to understand the usage of prepositions so that we do not make such mistakes. And that is what we endeavor to do with our children when we teach them. So, one of the things just popped up that the sentences are not written on the screen. Yes, the sentences are not written on the screen because those are the examples which I wanted to quote, which generally children go wrong on. And during my teaching experience, I have come across. Okay, can we just please go down? Now, why learn English with Turito? We use the child-centric approach minus the traditional one size fits all approach. We do not give a module to the child to study from. We assess the child when we take the demo session, and then we move ahead with the child and we go ahead with the work as the child progresses. There is no tailor-made program for every child. So there is complete tailor-made program. I mean to say there is no set program for every child. We work according to the needs of the child. We choose mindful over handful learning. The child must understand the concepts instead of just throwing in the concepts to the child. Clear concepts from the ground up. Now, when we were preparing children for the NAPLAN, uh, I myself realized that children did not even know the kinds of sentences. They were not clear about the all types of sentences, which are the first topic of NAPLAN, and children are generally asked. They did not know what is an declarative sentence. They did not know what is an interrogative sentence. They did not know what is an imperative or an exclamatory sentence. So we now it is not their fault. So if they are not taught, we make sure that they are taught, and then only we move ahead. We learn to live, and interactive small group sessions are taking up. Generally, we take up one-to-one session, but if parents prefer to do 1 to 2 sessions, 1 to 3 sessions, we do take them up, because every way I feel has has advantages or disadvantages. If the child needs concentrated efforts, we feel that one-to-one session only will help the child. But then there are times that in group sessions, children, small group sessions, I mean to say, children learn to have the competitive spirit. They grow that competitive spirit. So it is also good to have a competitive spirit at times. And when the children reach that stage, they should be exposed to little competition. We have a very comprehensive and structured approach to target NAPLAN and OC classes, the opportunity classes, collaborating teaching of concepts, reading, writing, grammar, and speaking. So when I said that when I do, when we all, I think all the teachers are taking that up, that whenever we are doing a comprehension exercise, which is tested all the time, we do, besides taking inferential questions, we do the grammatical part also. We take up spellings, we take up punctuations, we ask them the various parts of speech, and that's how we proceed. So they become exam ready. Now, before I actually say thank you to all of you, I would just like to read a poem to reinstate how important it is to understand the grammar. See, grammar, there are times when we just need to understand it. They say that there is not to question why, there is but to do and die. In mathematics, you see, there is a formula, and when you follow that formula, then everything is taken care of. It is the You are able to solve the question properly. Similarly, in English grammar also, we need to understand the basic things. We need to learn them by heart. And if we do that, then there is no problem. I'll read out a poem. We'll begin with the box, and the plural is boxes. But the plural of ox becomes oxen and not oxes. One foal is a goose, but two are called geese. You may find a lone mouse or a nest full of mice. Yet the plural of house is houses and not highs. If the plural of man is men, why shouldn't the plural of pan be called pen? So it's a food for thought for all of you, that these are the things that we all need to understand, and we all understand with passage of time that that is how we go about, and those are the grammar rules. Those are the things that we need to learn by heart. There are no rules for that. We just need to understand and learn them by heart. Uh,
Yeah.
Also, I would like to ask if any one of you can tell me uh, how many words are added to the dictionary, English dictionary, in a day, probably, or in hours? Can anyone tell me that? Anyone? And there is a time limit. Well, a new word is added to an English dictionary in every 2 hours. So we need to keep ourselves updated all the time. Reading helps us to understand and use them so that we are walking with the world. English is an international language. It opens many doors. I always say that. But at the same time, if we do not know the language correctly, it will shut so many doors that we do not even will come to know. So we need to understand that it is very important to know the language correctly. Uh, then, and for that, we need to read, read, and read. We need to understand the grammar rules. Quiz yourself. There are lots of ways to quiz yourself, and the most common one is there are online quizzes. There is no harm in going online, quiz yourself, test your knowledge, because they immediately give you the answer and the reasoning for that. Read and reread. You can read aloud also, and the things will set in the mind. The more we read, the things will set in our mind, and we will get less prone to make mistakes. Again, I would reinstate, whenever you write something, consult others, take a feedback, be open in taking the feedback. Okay, let's take up the question answers. How to avoid grammar mistakes is the first question. When the concepts are clear, as I just said, which we try to do from ground up, when the concepts are clear, the grammar mistakes will lessen. Generally, the grammar mistakes that we come across are in subject-verb agreement, in punctuations, in use of the punctuations and prepositions. Those are the most common mistakes that we come across. So if our concepts are clear, we are using. Another mistake that I generally see even while walking on the road is the apostrophe, which I just took up, and the use of wrong apostrophe. So if we are clear in our mind, we will definitely avoid the grammar mistakes. How to improve my grammar mistake when speaking? Well, that is a very, very valid question, because there are times when we understand the writing skill, that how it should be written, but we are in a hurry to speak. So try to think what you're trying to say. And with practice, with clear understanding, this grammar mistakes while speaking, they will go down. Now, grammar mistakes when speaking generally happen when our concepts of subject verb agreement are not clear. So try to clear your concepts of subject verb agreement, and you will see the difference in your speaking. Practice more. Learn to take the feedback and accept it very gracefully, because nobody is born perfect. The word perfect comes with practice. So The more we practice, the more we become more and more perfect by each passing day. How would you motivate the students to study grammar? When the concepts are clear, believe me, they love to do grammar. So there are lots of fun activities that we take up to do grammar. There are times when I have to teach them the past tense, and I take up a cooking activity with the children. And when they do the cooking activity, after doing it, something they cook without fire, and after doing it, I tell them to tell me what they did using the past tense. So, whatever they have finished, they tell me that in small, simple sentences, and I introduce the past tense. I introduce the process making to them. So, through this activity, I am able to introduce two things: the use of correct past tense and how to write a process making, which is the passive voice. Uh, what is the difference between spoken and written grammar? There is no difference between spoken and written grammar. If your written grammar is correct, the spoken grammar will be correct. That's how we use it. Unless we are using the wrong grammar to speak, there will be no difference. The grammar is grammar for all. It's the same. How to teach grammar in a fun way? Well, I just quoted one of the examples. To teach grammar in a fun way, use activity based methods, keep improvising every day. And believe me, some of my students, when I teach them through cooking skills, they really enjoy so much. And the dish that they make, they name the dish with my name. And children of grade 3, 4, 5, they also make that, they help their parents and they tell their parents that we are going to make surena sandwiches today. So it's really fun for the family and it is fun for the children. They like to be part of it. When should we use a hyphen in a sentence? Whenever we are trying to connect the sentence in a way that they are both connected, but at the same time, we do not want to use, we want to talk about it, but we do not. I will just come back to this one because this I will have to explain to you how to make assessments in grammar skills more efficient. Assessment of grammar skills more efficient is give them MCQs and let them uh, do it there and then. Don't sit on it, I would say, and let them also understand that why they have gone wrong. Till the time they are not clear of their mistake, they will not understand. Now, hyphen is generally, we use hyphen. Somebody's asked this question. When we are trying to use two parts of a word together. So that is the when we try to use hyphen. And we want to avoid the confusion or ambiguity. So we use a hyphen. Try not to use a hyphen in two different lines. Do not write the word in two different lines. So generally when it is a compound word, to make the children understand, we use a hyphen in between. So do not use the compound word in two different lines. Come to the next line and write the word together, because if you use it in the next line, The problem, the confusion may arise in the minds of the students that it is one word, and because we could not fit it in one line, that is why we have used a hyphen. Any other question?
Yeah, ma'am. As of now, we are not getting any questions, ma'am. Thank you so much for detailed explanation and answering all the questions with patience, ma'am. We'll be ending the session now, ma'am. We'll be having a
Thank
webinar. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be having a webinar session in the coming week as well. We hope to see you all again. Until then, if you have any queries, please write to us at care@turito.com. For more info, please visit our website www.turito.com. Turito makes every student to learn mindful but not harmful. For better learning and better results, join Turito. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Ravli. Thank you, Turito team. And thank you, parents, for being a part of this webinar. I am indeed obliged and humbled that I am given the opportunity and to interact with all of you from time to time and clear your doubts. Thank you and have a great day.